again, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I'm going to be doing another mermaid. Obviously, it's MERMAY. If you've been following me over on my Instagram, you'll have seen a lot of mermaids from me this month. I'm trying really hard to keep up with doing a mermaid a day over on my Instagram, and if you'd like to check that out, there's a link down in the video description if you'd like to see some more mermaids. I would like to apologize for the crackliness of my voice. I have had a cold for the past couple weeks and my voice is a little bit weird and croaky, so if I sound strange, that's probably why. I'm kind of whispering a little bit so that my voice isn't blown out too much. I wanted to say thanks to everybody who left me such nice comments from my last video about my return to YouTube. I really like hearing from you guys so much, and I really appreciate all the comments that you left, and liked having some little conversations with you guys. So anytime you want to chat, I'm always here. So I am painting this little mermaid in my Canson XL Mixed Media sketchbook. It is one of those sketchbooks that has like the blue paper cover and then the cardboard back. And it is a 7x10 sketchbook, and I have not used gouache in that sketchbook before, and that's the media I'm working with, or medium I'm working with in this video. I wanted to see how well that sketchbook would handle gouache, because I don't like using my nice watercolor paper on something that may not turn out the way I want, and I would have rather worked in a sketchbook, since, as I said in my last video, I'm kind of interested in working in a sketchbook for coloring and stuff right now. But this sketchbook took the gouache amazingly well. I was really surprised. It also handles Copics pretty well, even though they do bleed through a little bit, but that's not something that bothers me. If it bothers you, don't use Copics in it, but the gouache went in really well and it didn't bleed through or wrinkle the paper or anything, which is really nice. So yeah, it takes gouache really well if you're looking for something to paint with gouache in. This was really the first time I had been using gouache since I was in community college 100 years ago, and I wasn't quite sure I liked it back then, but now that I've used it again, I really like it a lot. It's just kind of that mix between watercolor and acrylic paint, and I'm not really a huge fan of acrylic paint, but I do love watercolor. And it was just a nice mix between the two mediums, so I'm going to be using it a lot more often. I'm also working with a new type of gouache that I hadn't used before. I'm using M.Graham gouache, and I really like M.Graham as a company, mostly because they make great products. They make my favorite brand of watercolors, the M.Graham watercolors. I didn't know that they made gouache until I was at a local craft store, and I found them, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try these out, because M.Graham is actually local to Oregon, which is where I live. I live just outside of Portland, so any craft store or art supply store or anything like that carries M.Graham, since it's a local product, and I like to support local companies, and I like art supplies, so I thought I'd try these out, and I was very, very happy with them. They're so nice and creamy, and they just blend together really well, and they just flow really well, and I was very happy with them, so I will definitely be using them more and probably getting some more colors, because I only have the 4. Now I'm using a palette, a color palette that I have used in a video before. In my oil painting video, I used something called the Zorn Limited palette, and a couple of you back then expressed an interest in me making a video talking about this watercolor, not watercolor palette, color palette. You can use it with watercolors, but whatever. But it is a limited palette that only has 4 colors in it, and the colors are titanium white, Payne's gray, or sometimes ivory black, but I use Payne's gray, Alizarin crimson, and yellow ochre, and those are the only 4 colors in the whole palette, and you can make pretty much every color in the rainbow. They will obviously be cohesive and unified because you're only making colors out of those 4 colors, but I just think that it looks so nice and mature and professional to only use a small amount of colors when you're coloring something. I had never tried the Zorn Limited palette with gouache before, and it was actually really hard to find gouache in those colors. The Payne's gray was particularly hard to find, so I was happy to see that M.Graham did carry a Payne's gray in gouache, because for some reason it's just not a very popular color, but whatever. But the palette worked out really well in gouache. I was very happy because I had only used it in oil paints before, and I wasn't sure how well it was going to transfer over to a different medium like gouache. But it worked really well, and I think that it looks really nice, so I will continue to use my little 4-color palette and make little pretty artwork that's very nice looking. If you guys would like me to make a video talking about this palette and like showing swatches of how to make different colors in this palette, just let me know in the comments down below and I can do that, because there aren't that many videos here on YouTube about the Zorn palette because it's not a really, like, I guess well-known painting palette, so I would be more than happy to make a quick little video for you guys if you'd like to see that, and I can show you how to use the palette since it is limited, so you don't have to buy like a ton of colors if you want to try it out. And I guess that is all I have time for this time, and thank you guys so much for watching. Like my video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next week in the next video.